Good morning, everybody. Today we shall be talking about John Keats and his Ode to Autumn. John Keats, 1795 to 1821, was an English romantic poet. He was one of the main figures of the second generation of romantic poets, along with Lord Byron and Percy Bysshe Shelley. Despite his works having been in publication for only 4 years before his death from tuberculosis at the age of 25. Although his poems were not generally well received by critics during his lifetime, his reputation grew after his death, and by the end of the 19th century, he had become one of the most beloved of all English poets. His famous odes include Ode to Nightingale, Ode to Psyche, Ode on a Grecian Urn, Ode on Melancholy, Ode to Autumn, and Ode on Indolence. Apart from the poet of odes, Keats is a poet of beauty and truth and has also handled other forms of the poetry with equal authority. His other well known poems are Endymion, that he published in 1818, Hyperion, 1820, and The Eve of St. Agnes, 1820. His life and art philosophy is disclosed in his similarity poetic letters that are addressed to Benjamin Bailey in 1817, in which he writes, I am certain of nothing but the holiness of the heart's affections and the truth of imagination. What the imagination seizes as beauty must be truth, whether it existed before or not. John Keats carries this notion of a thing of beauty is a joy forever in almost all his poems. Beauty and truth, truth, beauty. That's all you know on this earth, and that's all you need to know on this earth, are very beautiful expressions from John Keats in his odes. He had a significant influence on a diverse range of poets and writers over the modern ages. Ode to Autumn is an address to the season of autumn. The autumn that comes after the summer and before the winter is the season of ripeness, fruitfulness, and maturity. The poem celebrates the maturity and ripeness of nature and its relationship to human life. In a letter that is written to John Hamilton Reynolds in September 1819, Keats writes about the composition of this ode in particular. He says, how beautiful the season is now, how fine the air, the temperate sharpness about it. Really, without joking, chaste weather, Dian skies, and I never liked stubble fields so much as now. Ah, better than the chilly green of the spring. Somehow, a stubble field looks warm, in the same way that same picture looks warm. This struck me so much in my Sunday's walk that I composed a poem on it, and that is how Ode to Autumn has come out from the pen of John Keats. The letter makes it clear that Keats was impressed by yellow stubble plains over the chilly greenness of the spring season. Accordingly, he composed the poem to celebrate the somber and the mellow season of nature, that is autumn. This entire ode is written in three stanzas. Each stanza has got 11 lines each. These stanzas depict the various aspects of the autumn season, with its effect on nature and, of course, on the human perception of nature and life. Let us look into the very first stanza. The first stanza says, season of mists and mellow fruitfulness. Mists is the fog and the cold atmosphere that is coming up. Mellow fruitfulness, mellow is soft and tender and ripe. Why do you think it is mellow? Because with the onset of autumn season, every fruit and every vegetable is full of softness, tenderness, and every fruit becomes ripe with its sweetness. Hence, autumn is a season of mists that bring about the cold atmosphere and snow, along with mellow fruitfulness, where every fruit and vegetable is full of ripeness, tenderness, and sweetness. Close bosom friend of the maturing sun, He addresses directly, because it is an ode, that autumn season is a very close friend of the maturing sun, because the summer is over and now the summer will give away, as a maturing sun of summer will give away to the autumn season, conspiring with him how to load and bless. Conspiring is to make a secret. It looks as if it is making a secret with the maturing sun as to how it can fill, load, and bless with the fruit the vines that round the thatch eaves run. Vine is a creeper. Every creeper that is moving about the houses, the roof that extends out of the building is what is called as eave. Every eave is full of thatch, and every thatch is full of vines. All the vines are full of fruits and vegetables. It looks as if the autumn season is making a secret with the maturing sun of the summer season as to how to fill the fruits as well as the vines and vegetables with sweetness and ripeness. To bend with apples. Oh, this gives us a picture as if every apple tree is full of apples, and because of the weight of the apples, every branch is bent low. To bend with apple, the mossed cottage trees. So the tree also is full of moss because of the greenery of the spring, summer, as well as the autumn season. And from this mossed apple trees, every branch is full of apples, thereby loading and bending the branches low on the ground. All fill, all fruit with ripeness to the core. Every fruit is full of sweetness because of the onset of autumn season. To swell the gourd, swelling is to increase in size. God is a vegetable family which increases in its size, like wattle gourd, kaddu, ridge gourd, turai, snake gourd, which is padwal, bitter gourd, which is karela, and pumpkin. So all these are the fruits that swell because of the maturing ripeness. And it is autumn season that is responsible for filling the taste in them and also to swell. To swell the gourd and plumb the hazel shells with sweet kernels. So hazel shells are the fruits, gourds are the vegetables. So the vegetables are swollen and hazel shells like fruits are loaded with a sweet kernel. Kernel is the inside of the fruit. Just like the white kernel of a coconut that we eat, similarly is the kernel of the hazel shells, which is full of sweetness only because of the onset of autumn season. To set budding more and still more, or the repetition of the word more would mean that there are innumerable buds later becoming the flowers, and the flowers offer themselves to the bees, later flowers for the bees, until they think, who think? The bees think. Warm days will never cease because there is no end for these flowers and fruits. They keep on extracting the honey from the flowers, and there seems as if there is no end to these sweet smelling flowers because of the onset of autumn season. For summer has overbrimmed their clammy cellars. Oh, it's an onomatopoeic word. Summer has overbrimmed. The repetition of mersummed in the line explains us that the clammy cells, sticky cells, the cells of the honeycomb has become sticky because of the deposition of, of honey. Honey is so much, and still so many flowers are remaining for the honey to be extracted, that the entire honeycomb has become soft and has become sticky because of the overloading. Overbrimmed is the entire cell is covered with honey and is flowing down, because of which each cell is becoming sticky. And it is only because of the autumn season that you could find the, the swelling of the gourds, the sweet kernel that is developed, the apples that are full of sweetness, and every fruit is loaded with a rich taste of ripeness. Not only that, you could see so many buds and flowers blooming, the butterflies hovering about, and the honeycomb is completely full of honey, and still many more flowers are left. That is the beauty of autumn season. So, the very first stanza depicts the various aspects of autumn season with its effect on nature, and of course on the human perception of nature and life. The first stanza glorifies and elevates the autumn with various metaphors and personifications. The autumn is perceived as female and is qualified by two attributes, a season of mists and a season of mellow fruitfulness. The dusky atmosphere is due to the yellow color of nature. The greenery is given up by the spring, has been replaced by the color yellow and the color of the stubble field after the harvesting is over. The mellow fruitfulness evokes the ripeness of the fruits, of grains, and of human thought. It suggests the sweet smell of ripe fruits and nuts. The autumn is called the bosom friend of the maturing sun. In alliance with each other, they have brought the plants to the fruition and the fruits to the ripeness and to the core. They have also made possible the budding of the later flowers for the use of the honeybees. As a result, one can see the beehives filled with honey to the brim. The sun and its bosom, friend autumn, have completely filled the earth with bounties. Thus, in the very first stanza, the poet glorifies and elevates the autumn season with all possible metaphors and personifications. Thank you very much for being a part of it. Bye for now and stay tuned for the following videos.